Welcome to the vlog in which I tried to find a yellow shirt to match the book for the thumbnail. In actuality, welcome to the weekend reading vlog for November, in which I read book 5, Spiritbound, in the Vampire Academy series. We're almost there, fam. There is 490 pages. Yes, I did check before I started to film. Now, I am gonna try to go as spoiler free as I can, as I do with the rest of these, but you know, this is the 5th out of 6 books, so we'll see. First, I should probably mention the ratings of my other books, and that they are in other vlogs. All of them have been read. 2 through 4 have been in weekend reading vlogs, so the playlist for the weekend reading vlogs will be up above in the cards, and then also there will be the trying to reread books or rereading books for fun, which is the most recent time I read the first book. The first book is a 4.5, and then Frostbite, the second one, I gave 4 stars. Shadow Kiss, the third one, I gave 4.25. And then last month for Blood Promise, I rated it 3.5. So, here's the high hopes that the series goes back to what I enjoy. Though Rose and Lissa are in the same area again, so there's a good chance. Basically, this one, based off of where the last one went, I assume there's going to be a hint of romance between Rose and Adrian, because she promised him a chance. And he's doing what he can to prove that he's ready for this chance and he's worthy of this chance, despite the fact that I think Rose really needs to continue her therapy and deal with the trauma of everything she's been through in the past year, and then she can date. But like, she needs to figure out herself first, you know, fun things. But she is finally starting to talk to Lissa about her stuff, which is great. It's not one-sided again. I assume there's gonna be stuff about Liz and Christian because the way it left off was a little suspicious. And I really want Rose's long lost brother Abe to be more of a thing, because honestly he was my favorite character in the last book. That was very fun. But basically, based off of how the last one ended, Rose and Lissa are graduating from high school finally. They are trying to live their lives. I assume some politics stuff because Lissa is a princess, and the last Dragomir, so you know, important things. And she's also dealing with the fact that she got a letter at the end of the last book where Dimitri said he was gonna hunt her down and kill her, because she didn't succeed in killing him and whatnot. And so she's probably gonna be dealing with that and fun stuff. But yeah, that's what's happening. We're gonna read this in the next few days. For those who haven't been to one of my weekend reading vlogs before, basically they take place on weekends when my mom works, which includes Mondays. So it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It is currently 10:45, a little before 11 a.m. on Saturday. So I probably won't update you until tomorrow morning with how far I got today and my thoughts so far. And that's fine. And yeah, I think with this one, I'm gonna go with just reading it physically, because I did do, was the second and third one I did audiobook and physical book, which was fine because I had previously read them, but when I tried to do the fourth book, both audio and physical, I didn't like it as much. So I'm just gonna go back to doing it physically and having a good time. And yeah. Do we need to talk about how this is the only yellow shirt I can find? Yes, because I was in the attic for like 10 minutes. I'm colorblind, so it was a fun time. But I eventually did find it. So that's fun. I know I had one among all my high school stuff, so it's fine. But yeah, here we are. Let me actually talk about what I read yesterday. I read 80 pages, only the first 3 chapters. We do not need to talk about how the chapters in this one seem longer than in the other ones. Like, I think one of them was like 24 pages or something, and I was like, what? Basically this book starts out kind of with their graduation, with their final test that the Dampiers have to do, which was fine, I guess. And remember when I said I wanted Abe? Well, he was there since chapter 1. And Rose has come up with some new ideas on the prison break she wants to do. I swear, if this turns into a prison break, I may actually have a good time. So basically they're now at court because she graduated with top marks for her final and whatnot. And they are doing, like, they are waiting and doing events and all this stuff for them to get their final placements, and she's kind of worried she's not going to end up with Alyssa because of her whole entire stint in the last book. So, you know, makes sense. But she's worried about that. Alyssa and Christian aren't talking to each other, but she's talking to both of them, and she's just there in the middle like, people, please. I feel bad for Adrian because it seems like everyone else but him recognizes his relationship with Rose is not like a long-term thing. Like, his mother, his aunt, who is the queen of the vampires and whatnot, all like recognize that she is not the type to settle down and all this stuff. So his whole entire relationship with her is just basically another fling to them. We're ignoring the sound of my dog. Yeah, and he doesn't know that she does. She like realized it when they brought it up, and so and she, I don't think is gonna bring it up to him. I don't know where I left off. The dinner with his family just happened, so that's fun. And whatnot. Mostly it's just been her being worried about what's gonna happen after high school, her doing her trials and passing them with flying colors, despite the fact that they made them overtly difficult for her. Like, they changed what the trials were gonna be just for her, just so that they're more difficult for her, which I get because she was in the real world actually killing Strigoi for like a whole entire semester. Therefore she's more qualified and would surpass the test that everyone took easier. So I get that side of it, but also I get why she's angry because they purposely set her up to fail. Like, they didn't even know how to pass the test that they set up for her, and then she did pass it and they were like, oh, okay. And I'm just like, no, that's just setting her up for failure for no reason, and that doesn't seem right for a lot of reasons, but we're not gonna worry about it. And then her making out a plan, basic plan, to get information to break out Victor Dashkov from the first book from prison. So fine. Hang out with Mia because of that. Actually, I like Mia's character right now. Talking to her dad, dealing with Christian and this drama in general, and then her being in a relationship with Adrian and them just being kind of cute together. And I just feel bad for him because I know how it ends for him, but that's fine. The only other thing I have to say at this point is the character of Jill. I don't really understand. She's been in it since like book 3, and she's just been like a side background character who's in a few scenes in every book, but like, they made a big deal of her in the beginning of this one because like Rose is leaving the school, and so are Leslie and Christian and Adrian and all this stuff, and so like they make a big deal of them leaving her behind and all this stuff. I'm like, is it to set up another book or something? Because like, we know basically nothing about her, and it's like supposed to be this big deal, and I'm just like, I don't get it. It's a waste of my time, honestly, in this 498 page book. I don't want to read about this 9th grader who is just really big into the main characters because they're basically high school royalty, but also actual royalty at the same time. But you know, fun. Whatever. There was a tiny bit of information about Moroi that aren't royals in this one and their lives after high school, and like, hear me out, I'm kind of more interested in that right now. It's like that and the Prison Break that I'm interested in. And I won't get the stupid other non-royal stuff because all the Moroi in these books that we follow are all royals. So, like, Adrian's the nephew of the current queen. Liz is a princess and assumed to be the next queen. And Christian is royal. I mean, he's kind of like royal, but people don't like him because of his family, but he's still royal. And yeah, so I kind of want to see what the other side is, but I don't know. There's a lot of anxiety about whether or not she will get paired up with Lissa, and then also just Rose being worried about life outside of the school because it's just gonna be danger like all the time, and she's worried about having to protect Lissa in that, which like makes sense. But yeah, everyone just keeps on telling her that it's gonna be fine and all this stuff. I'm like, are you sure about that? Because also Dimitri be hunting her down, okay? After the last book, he's like, he sent her a letter. Like, he sent her another letter. There was one at the end of the last book, and then there's another one at the beginning of this book. Like, starts on the first page. Where he's basically like, hey, I love you, but also I have to kill you. And you killed a bunch of Strigoi royalty, or not really royalty, but higher ups. So they're gonna kill you. So if you have to die, might as well be by my hand. I know you're graduating. I know you're gonna graduate because you're just way better than the rest of them. So as soon as you leave the school, I'll be able to find you, and I'm gonna hunt you down and kill you. So that's like a thing, and I'm just waiting for that now. But yeah, I guess I just have to wait to see if I assume she's gonna be paired up with Lissa. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't do it, honestly. I mean, I can see like the small reasons why, but I think she's proved herself at this point. So yeah. Today I want to get like to page 300ish. In the late 200s, early 300s, so I can finish it. I'll have like less than 200 pages ish tomorrow. So that's the plan. And yeah, the dog is snoring, and you can probably hear it. So I'm gonna end up off here and say see you tomorrow morning with any thoughts I have about this. Yeah, I didn't really read anything yesterday. I read 41 pages. But I just got off sprints and I'm 54% of the way through. And it's been boring until this exact point. Hear me out. Spoilers. I'm gonna say spoilers because spoilers. I had a theory since they lost Victor Dashkov, after they had like done the whole prison break thing, that he was gonna kidnap Lissa again, and then Rose would have to go after her and save her, and one of Lissa's 2 guardians would die in the process, and that would be how Rose would become her guardian in the end, right? Makes sense. Kind of was right. It wasn't Victor, but it was Dimitri and a bunch of Strigoi. They killed a bunch of people. I want to say like it was 5 guardians. It said, I want to say, and another Moroi that was there. And thankfully Rose like tuned into her head, so she saw all of it happen, which is she now has to get people to believe her that attack has happened and all this stuff. But yeah, no, basically he's kidnapped Christian and Lissa as bait for Rose so that he can kill Rose and all this stuff. And because her guardians are dead, or at least one of them. One, it said she was just thrown against the ground. The other one, like, he ripped out that guardian's throat. So I think he's dead. I think. Hear me out. But yeah, no, I think if she does this right and uses it well, not really use it to prove herself, but she does prove herself, and then people realize, oh yeah, then maybe they'll let her be Lissa's guardian, and that's gonna be a thing. I think that may be a thing. Maybe by the end of the book, or maybe part of the next book would be political stuff about her becoming her guardian, because there was already some stuff where a bunch of the higher up royals were questioning her about some things for a trial thing, and she was like, I'm confused, and no one knows really why, but yeah, that's what's happening. And before this, it was like a 3-star. I was bored out of my mind. Now I don't know what it is, but I'm not bored, and I did expect that for the like last 100 pages, because that's always what happens. But like I still have like another 240 pages or something like that, so like what's happening, I do not know, but I am having a good time. I honestly don't know what's gonna happen in the next one, because they're setting up a lot of stuff to end now, like Rose being able to become Liz's guardian. They did figure out how to reverse from someone being Strigoi, and Liz is in a prime position to do it against Dimitri, so like they could do that, all that stuff, but like that's all primed for this book, so I don't know what the next book is gonna be, especially since that one is thick. It's like twice the size of the second one. It's thick. It scares me how big that one is, but you know, that's an issue for next month me. This month me is just happy that I got it right. For the most part, like I got the person wrong, but the idea of it right. So look at me go. But yeah, that's that. That's what happened. They broke people out of prison. They went to Las Vegas for a bit. Rose and Adrian were fighting, but now they're not fighting again. I stand by the fact that I'm sad for Adrian, because like she, as far as she understood it, they were gonna break up in the summer once the summer is over, when she gets her assignment and all this stuff, and he just thinks that they're happy and together. And so now with the possibility of them, like if she works with Lissa or has to stay at court for part of her punishment and all this stuff, then like they could still be together, and she's happy about that idea. But also like the whole entire reason why no one cares that they're a thing is because everyone assumes as soon as she gets the assignment they're gonna break up, which she also assumed, but like it doesn't seem like Adrian assumed that. And then also Christian and Lissa have been learning how to fight, and there is some attraction, there is some chemistry, but they don't want to admit it to themselves or each other because they're still mad at each other. But maybe they'll finally end up together after this whole entire traumatic experience. But yeah, that's what's happened. Yeah, I'm gonna finish it. I did find the audiobook. It took forever because the only places I could find it are audiobooks.com and Audible, and I already used my Audible free trial for Priory last month, so I got the free trial of audiobooks.com, which apparently they have Neon Gods by Katie Robert that I can also get for free for part of my trial, so I may also listen to that one this month for fun because of that. But yeah, I got that going. So it's 13 hours. So tonight, after I play games with Dion, possibly when I mention her about it, then I will listen to the audiobook while reading, and we'll see how it goes. I did listen to parts of it. Did they? I don't know if they changed the narrator. I'll check. But this one seems to be one doing a Russian accent for Dimitri, but also like a different accent for Lissa. I can't remember if they did that for other ones. And it doesn't seem that bad. Like, I have an issue with a lot of YA books narrations. They always seem super young and stuff for no reason. Like, it seems like the narrators tend to make like young squeaky voices prominent for no reason, except that it's YA, so like obviously, but like straight up murder is an aspect in these books, so And it does seem like she makes her voice a tad bit deeper for Rose's character, and a tad bit not higher tone but softer for Lissa, which like makes sense for their personalities. I'm not mad about it. It's not the best I've ever heard, but like it's definitely not the worst. So yeah, I won't be mad if I continue the both audiobook and physical. So very important news. I found my other purple flannel, which means I now have 3 flannels. I did finish this last night. I did it, things happened. Listen, if you've watched any of these, you know it's the last 50-ish pages that go crazy and things happen, and every time I'm like, oh my god, I instantly want to pick up the next one. It's like a whole thing. So, you know, that happened. I don't want to spoil it. So just know that H knows it all, and from all the voice notes I sent her and her reactions, I'm gonna go with, yeah, this was crazy. The end of this one, crazy. Still feel bad for Adrian. Rose did finally realize that basically the same thing that she did to Mason in the, I think it was the 3rd one in Shadowkiss. No, that was Frostbite. Yeah, it was in Frostbite. The stuff that she was doing to Mason, like leading him on, and all this stuff just to try to deny her feelings for Dimitri, was kind of the same thing that she was doing to Adrian. But she recognized it and decided to, just fully embrace anything and everything she feels for Adrian. And then things happened. I could go into the audiobook, I guess. It was fine. There were these weird sound effects every time magic was used, specifically when Rose went into Lissa's mind, or Lissa did magic at this one point. And it was fine. I mean, it made me laugh every time, but also like it would go on for too long. Like if even when Lissa just said like Rose stop in her head, it would happen, but it would go on for like another page and a half. And then also it start too early, so like one of the main fight scenes in which stuff is happening, it does the sound effect, but it does it like 2 pages too early is when it starts. I mean, it felt like it was 2 pages. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't counting. But it was way too early, and so it kind of spoiled that she was going to do the thing. And so then she did the thing. And yeah. But otherwise, the narrator did a fine job. She did accents for characters, which was interesting, especially with the 3 main male characters having all 3 different accents. But that's fine. It was easy to tell which one was talking. And yeah, I'm gonna stand by the fact that the first half of this was boring, and the second half of this was a great time. And I swear, if they do have to do another prison break in the next one, I will cry. They even made a joke about it at one point, where she said, I wonder if they'll put me in that prison. And I'm like, you already know how to break out. But my main real complaint with this is how it constantly connected to the other books. It did this, I don't really know how to explain it, but it did this thing where, like something in this book would be similar to something that happened in one of the previous books. And, it does this whole thing where like it'll be like that time when Victor kidnapped Lissa, and this happened, and it's very similar because this, like, it would do that, but it did it a lot, so it kept on just reminding me, especially of the first 3. It did it only like 2 or 3 times about Blood Promise, so it wasn't that bad, but it did a lot about the first 3 books, which of course are my favorites in this series. So every time I'd just be like, yeah, I'd much rather be reading them, but instead of reading this one, and thanks for reminding me, I was like, this is weird. Sydney came back for a bit, and it was whatever. There is a lot of stuff with politics in the second half. I mean, there's been slight politic stuff throughout the series, especially since this is like the last of her family, and presumed next queen or a future queen of this world. And so it made sense for the politics to be a thing, but no, it went deep into politics, especially in the second half of this, and yeah, I liked it. It was very interesting. Abe did come back. We love him. I don't know what it says that Adrian and Abe are currently my favorite characters. But yeah, all that happened. Also, there was kind of this whole weird thing about Rose's feelings about Lissa doing certain things that would make her feel jealous. And then she wouldn't bring it up, and then she'd get upset, and then Lissa would recognize that's what would happen, and then try to talk to her about it, and then she'd ignore her. Like, that happened 2 times, maybe 3 times, which is like a prominent thing that happened in the first one, and especially in the first 3, which kind of like what ruined their relationship. Like, their whole entire relationship was rocky in the last book because of that happening all the time in the first 3, and it really affecting their relationship because they just won't communicate about their feelings. And then it happened again, and Lissa recognized now what it was doing, but they still don't communicate about why or how to change that. And so, like, has anything really changed? At least she tells Lissa about her crazy plans now. There's that. But yeah, the ending of this was complete bonkers. And yeah, it was crazy, and I had a good time with the last 50 pages. Real good time. And I'm rating it 3.5 stars like I did with the last one. So I'm happy I read it. I'm really excited to read the next one, especially if it turns into a court drama. Ooh. But yeah, that's what happened. And being as this is the only book I read for this vlog, I don't have to do a rundown of everything that happened. So yeah, that's the end of the vlog, I guess. I read the book in a weekend. It was good. 3.5 stars. I'll see you in the next video, which, based off of how filming and stuff is going, I think will be the Second Chances vlog for this month. So stay tuned for that. Link below is all my social media, including my Goodreads, Storygraph, and Instagram. Instagram, I do little book trackers and favorites of the month, and for any book that I'm reading for a vlog, I do post a story of what my rating is, so if you want to know that ahead of time, follow me there. Also, I do reviews, but those also go up on Storygraph and Goodreads. And linked above in the cards thing will be the weekend reading vlog playlist, the whole playlist. So if you want to catch up, see what previous ones were about, there's books starting from the second one in the series in there, but also other ones. I've read other books in that vlog series, so if you want to check that out, that's up above. And thank you for coming to this vlog.